Alright folks, welcome back. I am Shipwreck Sean and this is Let's Play Sailwind episode 16 and part 5 of Going Eastward. Now, for those of you who stuck around to the end of the last episode, you will know that we think that we are relatively close to the archipelago. However, because I made so many navigational mistakes in terms of trying to read where I am in the last episode, I'm not entirely filled with confidence that my last reading or last few readings were correct. So I have decided from now on I am just going to wait and not sail until it is daytime so I can keep my eyes peeled on the off chance that I am about to sail past the correct longitude. But more realistically, I think perhaps we haven't quite gotten to the longitude that we think we have, and for that reason I'd like to do a noon reading. However, I had a lot more luck with the noon readings without the sundial. I seem to do better by just following along with my compass until the sun hit perfect south and then checking the clock that way. So I'm going to wait until noon and do that. As you can see, we're not tired. We have used up all our snake oil and coconut wine, so we don't really have the ability to do that, to make ourselves more tired. I don't have confidence with my celestial navigation, so we're not going to rely on finding Orions. So as I say, we're just going to wait until it is bright enough outside and close enough to noon, and then we'll sail on until night time, and we will rinse and repeat until hopefully we are there. So just to update everyone, this is where we think we ended part 4 of our Going Eastward. I think there was a grave mistake here, but as I say, I'm just not entirely confident that this is where I am. I feel like I might be more along this way somewhere. So as I say, I'll do the noon reading that I'm more comfortable with and try to get a closer to exact longitude, and then I can decide from that point on, because the direction the wind is going in, the wind is sort of coming like pretty much bang on south up towards us, so we can't go south. Southeast is a risk, because that would only be the right way to go if we were on longitude 4, and the only other way we can go is south-southwest if we choose not to go south-southeast. So we might be going back on ourselves, and if we're going to do that, we might as well sail out past the islands and then cut south-southwest. So that is my thinking for now. As you can see, the sun is starting to come up a wee touch. So what I'll do is, I'm not going to send our character to sleep, or maybe we can get away with, yeah, I think if we slept we'd wake up, we'd kill some time and wake up before noon. But no matter what I end up doing, I will make a quick edit and be right back with you shortly before noon. Alright folks, we are back. So it's about 11:15. I've just opened up the sails now and I've got us heading in a sort of easterly direction. We can't really go full east because we will be caught in chains, and I don't fancy that. So we're just trundling away slowly in this direction, waiting for noon. Pull up the outer jib there, and we're going to try my first version of checking the sun's direction for local noon, and we don't have too long to wait now. She's kind of holding course, so I'll take that for now. And I think we'll just start tracking the sun Right, well, it looks like it's about to fall into... I've got like a split second, and I think it's now. And that's 4, 8, 12. 4... Yep, so that was 12. Which would tell me that we are on 3 degrees longitude. So this is wrong. So we think we're roughly on 3 somewhere. Whoops. And we've missed the chance to take our latitude. But the wind is no longer behind us, so I believe we're definitely below 33 rather. So I know we can keep sailing in this direction until we are more confident that we are 4 or 5. The wind is going about west-northwest, which means we can probably gamble. So we've got decisions here, actually, decisions to make. We can either... So let's just go ahead and get rid of these. Well, we'll leave that one in. So we believe we're on 3 degrees somewhere. And we believe we're below 33. So I think we're roughly about here. And that alters our last reading. So our options are now to keep going east and then turn in, or now to bank it south until we know we're between 31 and 32 and then close haul the rest of the way. So I'm just trying to decide what's the best option, and to be honest with you, I think it's going to be easier to close haul ourselves south. I don't know, actually. I could shoot myself in the foot here because there's not much data for the wind in this area, but we seem to be close hauling or close to it. But the wind seems to be coming directly east, so we can't go directly east. We can only verge east northeast and then cut down. So yeah, I'm going to make the decision to go south, I think, and I might regret that, but we can go south until night time, and then we can check our North Star for our latitude reading, and then we will take in our sails and again wait until noon and do it all over again. So it looks like she can go slightly southeast. So I'm just going to see if she holds course like that, because at this point I would much rather be holding course than battling like I did for much of the previous episode. As I say, I don't think this configuration is bad. I think the sailor is the problem. How is she holding? Holding that pretty well. As I say, the winds could change in the location we are in now, but I'm fairly happy with that. Nutrition wise, we could use an orange slice. And now we've got cheese, which I believe is anything from cheese to bread, etc, etc. So now we have the liberty of, well, I think we're close enough that we can eat. We can follow along what our nutritional needs are and eat that way. We have 3 energy elixirs. So should we need them, we can use them. But yep, I'm quite happy with that heading for now. Drink some water. We'll soon be able to throw our barrels overboard, because I don't think we need them. and the income we'll get from selling them at this point is pretty negligible. So I believe for now what I will do is I will sleep off what's rest of my energy, see if I can wake up maybe around midnight, check our latitude, and then I'll pull in the sails. So I'll go for that little nap now. Alright, so we've woken up. We're still heading roughly in the direction we want to be going in. She's pulled south a touch, but that's over a decent distance. So I'm just going to let out the jib just a touch and see if that helps us hold course ever so slightly better. The time is 7 o'clock, or coming up for. So we could gamble looking west for Witena. But as I say, I've not been too confident with my celestial navigation. But we'll give it a quick bash. Just coming up for 7 o'clock now. Okay, so Witena. And that's saying 14. And if I check my notepad, 14 is 1 degree. And I think we're a lot further along than that, so my celestial navigation is just atrocious at this point. And so now, all that's left to do... Well, see, the thing is, I think I tell a lie because I know one of these is actually a snake oil. I just can't remember which one. And I don't fancy risking it at this point in time. So I guess we'll attempt getting our latitude from the North Star. There's the North Star there. That's reading at about 33 still. Whoops. Or halfway between 31 and 35, so 32.5. And I'm going to choose to believe that one. So roughly we thought we were on 3 degrees and 32.5. So I think I'm about here at this point. Hopefully. But we'll do another noon reading. So I'll keep us going southward for now until midnight, and then I will pull in the sails. And by that point I'll get a teeny tiny little sleep that will take us through to closer to noon, when I can open up the sails again. And we could use a slice of orange. So yeah, I'm getting more and more nervous the closer I seem to get, because all of my celestial readings seem to be telling me I'm a lot further westward than I am, and then my noon readings are telling me the opposite. And it doesn't help that the previous episode completely knocked out my celestial navigation confidence. But I guess that's the fun part of Sailwind. As I say, I've been enjoying this, but at this stage, I don't even know if I want to say this, but yeah, I think it'll be a long time before I sail eastward in the dhow. At least until I have gotten more and more confident with what it is I'm doing. It seems like my skills have deteriorated the further I go along. But maybe it just feels like that. Maybe that's just the doubt sinking in, you know, before we reach our destination. Right, 9 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is I'll make a quick edit now. I'm going to let the time scoop up to midnight. And as I say, once it gets there, I will bring in the sails. And then I will sleep. And then I'll be right back with you just before noon again. So I'll see you all shortly. Okay folks, I've decided I'm going to give Witena a go anyway. Maybe the more errors I make, the more I can get close to the bottom of what is going wrong. So we'll just wait for exactly midnight, which is not too long from us now. Pretty much now. So dead on Witena. And that's reading 36. And I will try it once more. .36. So if I look at my trusty notepad, 36 on the notepad says 3 degrees. So that would match up. But that is if that is to be believed. And I guess whilst we're at it, we'll do another wee check of the North Star. Since we've got calm seas. North Star here. That's reading 31. But I'm not, no, that's not the North Star, that's why. That's the North Star there. Helps if we get the right star. So yep, still around 32.5. And that's with a few hours of sailing. So, yeah. So I'm at least slightly confident in the fact that our second marker that we've put down, or at least the one at the start of this episode, here, I've taken the liberty of adding part 4 question mark here. But I'm semi-confident that this is fairly decent as to where we are. So our reading at the end of the last episode had us about here, which was certainly not true. So we're going to call this error. Just to keep that as a little memento. And now I will bring up the sails. And in fact, actually, I don't have much time to sleep. So I think I'll just nap, because I don't think I'll go further below the latitude I want to go if I sleep. And she's holding her course. Well, spoke too soon. She's not holding her course that well anymore. She's heading slightly southwest. So stick to the plan, bring in our sails. And I will be with you guys just before noon. Okay folks, so I know I said I was going to wake everyone up just before noon, but our character woke up at about 6 in the morning, and I've been keeping us going in about a southeasterly direction. I was going to probably cut the edit at about maybe 10, 11 and eat some, drink some. But I want to get a second opinion on this, because I think I might have sighted land. Now, if you look at your top left corner of your screen there, I don't know about you folks, but that looks like land. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to just walk as far away from my microphone as possible, and I'm going to have a little celebration. Woo! Yeah! Alright folks, welcome back. So yeah, we can see land. Wow, I'm actually shaking a little bit. So yeah, the end is in sight. We've Oh, right. Oh, I should have prepared a speech. But I suppose I shouldn't get too confident just yet. But at this point, like, we don't necessarily need to take a noon reading, but we're going to take one anyway. But if we just keep day sailing towards that... See that there in the corner? I'm not making that up, right? I've not gone completely mad. Oh my god. Okay. I was starting to really doubt myself. In the last episode and in some of this episode, I'm sure you could probably hear it in my voice. I was ready to bring my YouTube career to a swift end. But, wow. Okay. And if I didn't step far enough away from the microphone while celebrating, I apologise if that was loud. But you know what? I think I've earned a little scream. I also apologise to my neighbours. So wow, okay. So we'll continue on. It is 9 in the morning. Have a little orange slice to deal with our potential scurvy. I think I'll just finish the rest that are there. And I guess now our most important mission, other than getting there, is let's get rid of some of this bread. For reasons I mentioned in the last episode, I would very much like to not have this pile here when I get there. But I don't really want to chuck it overboard. Or maybe I just keep the bow open for food and such. Glad to see we still have this package of mail here, considering in the last episode it looked like it was going to glitch away from us. But alright. Maybe we can think about reconfiguring our sails so we get a bit more speed. Yep, actually we're going to do that. So we're going to... Oh, that's the wrong way. We're going to haul the gaff right up. So we haven't got that reefed at all. We're going to pull the sheet right in. That should buy us some speed, but we will lose obviously a little bit of our control. So she should start to turn towards eastward a touch. So I will also swap the inner jib for the outer jib. I don't think I can get away with both whilst I'm close hauling. And that should get us a bit more improved speed as we make our way to the land that I have conveniently lost sight of. There it is. So it's... land is east-southeast. So really, we want to be turning in that direction. Oh, and I've pulled that in way too much. Here we go. Thank you, Ico Loco, again for for that knowledge. Right, turning east-southeast. If we can, if that's not too much of a close haul, which it seems to be a dead-on close haul. So we will go east. Or as close to east as we can get. Right, so that's just north of east. We'll see how she handles that. Too much luffing now that we've tacked. So I'll pull her jib in, tighten that up a little bit. Right, and see how she handles that. Do we have forward momentum? A little bit. Where's the land? I keep losing land now. We don't want to lose it now that we've found it. Oh, now it's... yeah, okay, it's because we've tacked in the opposite direction. So there it is, within this circle I'm creating with my mouse. Land ho, neighbourinos. And that's 11 o'clock, so suppose it doesn't really matter what direction we're going in. I want to make a noon reading. Oh, we'll probably have to get ourselves out of irons, so... And it looks like we've already stalled. Yep, completely stalled. So that's okay. Bring that down so we can prepare for getting out of irons after the noon reading. And that's only 10 past now. So she is turning. Oh, now I can haul that gaff back up and we should get forward momentum. There we go. And hopefully she just keeps in that direction. She just wants to turn. Oh, that's probably because I had the helm very far around there. I just want forward momentum. That's it. I don't actually care what direction we're going in. We seem to be banking straight north, which is obviously not ideal, but it's just for now, folks. It is 11:30, or 35 past 11. Looking east. I have lost sight of land again, but that's not important right now. What's important is our noon reading. So I am now looking direct south, and the sun is pretty much direct south, and it's just moved over, and that was closer to 20 past, I would say. Well, quarter past, sorry. So 4, 8, so 15 minutes past ish. So 16 would be 4 degrees. So I think we're just a touch before 4 degrees. And then latitude 32-ish. So just before 4 and just above 32. So here's 4. So around here and then just above 32. So we're going to slice that in about here. And that's starting to look a bit more healthy. I think the island we're seeing is Dragon Cliffs. So if I draw a straight line from there to where we are, that is saying southeast. Which means if I face southeast, yep, that's exactly where I can see the blip of land. So now we need to do a big old tack. Keeping an eye on what direction she wants to go in. I don't necessarily think we have much use for energy elixirs at this point, but I am tempted to go for a little bit of snake oil if I can get her to hold course southeast. So let's just spend the next wee bit of time keeping her going southeast. South-southeast, so get her back on course before we make our sail adjustments. Yep, okay, right, let's watch from here. Hopefully she holds her course and I don't need to do much rummaging around. But that has not been my experience so far, so I'm expecting a little bit of rummaging. Turning ever so slightly southward, I would say. So I'm going to go and let out a little bit of jib. What's going on there? Oh, have I tightened it on the wrong side? Oh wait, yep. Let out a little bit of jib. And then correct our course. And then watch from there. So correct our course to southeast. We'll let her do her thing for a wee bit because we are thirsty. We have now emptied 1 barrel of water. So we can officially get rid of this. Cheerio. And we can center this barrel, if it will allow me to, around there. Yeah, that'll do. How is she holding? So she's turning more eastward, so I think I let out that jib just a bit too much. And we might end up in irons again. It could also mean that the wind is changing a touch, but as I say, it's more likely to be a shipwreck Sean error than anything else. Can we still see land directly where we're going? Yep, so land is over there. Slightly more east-southeast than southeast now. But we can't go east-southeast. This seems to be as close to the wind direction as we can go, which is about southeast. So the other direction will be about northeast. And I don't think it's quite time for northeast yet, so we'll be tacking our way for the rest of our voyage. Alright, okay. So I'm just going to keep us going. Maybe a touch more south than southeast. For argument's sake, we'll just keep it south-southeast for a wee bit. And then I will go to sleep if she holds course. And then if I wake up and it's night time, I will pull the sails in, wait until the morning, sight land, and then adjust course, I think, unless I'm feeling ballsy. It's currently 2:30. So it wouldn't really be the best time to sleep. This would actually maybe be a good time for an energy elixir. Keep us going until midnight. Yeah, I'm going to risk it. So as I say, one of these is a snake oil, because I remember making a mistake. So we're going to take this and see what happens. Well, that was the snake oil. Okie doke. So we're going to... What do I want to do? Do I want to keep heading south whilst I sleep? Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to sleep like this and see what happens. We're going to take hopefully the last big risk of the sail. And if I wake up in chains, well, I can see land, so who cares, right? So I'll be with you guys when our character wakes up. Alright, so we have woken up after not fully sleeping. And we are in irons, I believe. So we are going to raise, or lower, sorry, the gaff. And we're going to deal with that. So, turn the helm to starboard. Wait for the wind to catch our jib. Head us in... What's this? An easterly direction. Okay, now we can straighten up the helm. We still seem to be reversing, but the wind has caught the jib, so we can catch the wind with our gaff. Should balance things out, and should get us some forward momentum. We didn't actually stray off course, which is good. Right, so now we're going kind of east-northeast, which I think should be okay. And she seems to be holding that well enough for me. So with that little nighttime adjustment, I will get us some more sleep. And it is only 9 PM, so hopefully we sleep through to close enough to dawn and we get some light. Alright folks, we have woken up It is 3 in the morning. We're heading in a northeasterly direction. Seem to be holding that in a fairly stable manner. So yep, just a quick update this time, and I will sleep the rest of night. Okay, dokie, we have woken up, still going northeast. It is, however, daytime, so I will try and spot land. And there's you can see a lot more land now. So yeah, now we can completely tack to a south-southeast direction and just hold that for the rest of the voyage, I think. So, tacking round. Hopefully we've got enough momentum to do this in a oneer. Yep, we have swung. Oh, just the final push. There we go. Okay. South-southeast. Hopefully this is the final leg, folks. How's she holding up? She's pushed herself southward a touch. But as long as she holds roughly, I'm happy with that direction for now. And it seems that she is holding roughly, so I'll go in, drink water and eat. And then see how she's doing after that. How much? We've got 10 left, so we'll be able to fill up our bottle with our last barrel. And we will be able to launch this barrel now, creating a bit more space up in our bow. Cheerio. Oh. Wow, okay. We're feeling particularly muscly today. Still holding course, and we need some vitamins. So we will chop up an orange. There we go. That sounded like we chopped up the boat. And that one orange slice has now got our nutritional needs telling me I need protein. So I'll have one bit of protein and the rest will be bread. There we go. We can move our package away from our bread now. I can't quite see land from the vessel itself. But when I press C and... oh, wait, no, I can. I'll wait until this wave to go so you can all see that I'm not going mad. Or this wave to go. Stand up here. There you go. There she's. Oh, what a relief. So we have went through 2 full barrels of water. We have not touched, well, there's none in there. We had some reserve water here and a whole bunch of it here, none of which has been touched. So that's pretty good. I think we will obviously have some more of that before we actually get to land. So 2 barrels and some reserves is the perfect amount. I wish I had kept count of the amount of bread I've eaten. But my guess would say a lot. So the bread tip, an amazing tip. Very happy with that indeed. And actually I might move that for now, because I think I'd like to do some housekeeping. What time is it? 9:20. Let's get her looking shiny for our arrival to what is hopefully Dragon Cliffs and the Emerald Archipelago. Can't be so sure with this channel. There we go, get her looking pretty. will impress all the locality when we get there. Making sure not to sweep our bread. There we go. Looking all clean. Try and dot this down without dropping it all over the place. Will you sit there for me? I liked you better. Close enough. Alright, so she is slowly turning. And she's turning as if the wind is hitting the bow or the jibs. So I'm going to pull in the gaff sheet. Squeeze us in, maybe not too much there, I don't want to be close hauling too much. Squeeze us into about direct south and see how she handles that. I don't think we'll reach the archipelago on this Sailwind day, but since the last episode was long, I'm going to do another long one today. I don't think, there we go, there's your caveat. I don't think I'm going to finish this until I have reached port. Because I am determined now. It is the final leg. And I just want to get there. I just want to prove to myself that I'm there. I don't want to take a real life shipwreck Sean sleep. Because I don't think I will sleep. I just want to wake up and do this. So, let's take stock. Bunch of oranges, which should last forever because they're dried. Some water. Lots of sunspot fish, which should last forever because it's dried. 2, what I hope are energy elixirs, because clearly we had our snake oil. A metric ton of water. And we have not even touched a fishing hook yet, so probably overspent there on fishing hooks. But it's better to have too much than too little. So I think really we want to sail past. So the wind is heading pretty much directly towards the islands. So we want to sail past so that we're heading, so that we can get away with heading direct east, because it looks like we're going to be able to. But more realistically, it might be more east-northeast. So we just want to keep pushing her, really, until the islands are east-northeast. She's holding fairly well. I would go for a snake oil right around this point, just to kill some time. We are coming up for noon, so I think I'll do a noon reading. And since we're heading south, I'll have to do it from the bow. Will I be able to see it? Yes, I will. And I'm going to do the shipwreck Sean traditional way, just because it's been kinder to me. Now, I'm not saying the advice I have received is bad, because it's actually the perfect advice. It just so happens that I'm not so great at it at this point in time. So that is at least one of many lessons I have received whilst doing this series Eastward. Right, just waiting for her to cross over. When I say her, I mean the sun. We're facing directly south here, just waiting for that sun to kind of settle nicely in this little curve here. And if my eyes don't deceive me, that should be about now. So that is 16, which means I think we're exactly 4, and we've gone southward a bit. But what we can do now is we know we're on 4, and we know the islands are roughly southeast to us. I don't know which one is which, to be honest with you, so I'll look in the centre of them all and take an average, so roughly southeast. So we know we're on 4. And the centre of the islands are southeast. So if I draw a line, I'll go for about here. Southeast. It doesn't really make sense to the last one, but we're going to just go here, right? We're going to take a bit of creative liberty here and say we're there. Yeah, that's good enough for me. So what I need to do once I get there is work out which island is which. But I think it's safe to assume Dragon Cliffs will be the widest of the islands. Nah, I'm finding it troubling and difficult to work out which is which, because as I say, I've never been here before. So I think that's just something we'll have to navigate when we get there. What time is it? It is just past noon. So I think if I sleep off the rest of that energy bar, we will still have a bit of daylight and I'll be able to see if we can make our tack yet. So I'll be back with you guys shortly. Alright, still going roughly in the right direction. We have drifted westwards a bit. Pull that in as far as it will go. The islands have spread apart a bit more. The centre of the islands is now east-southeast. And the wind is going southeast. So we're not really going to be able to close haul ourselves southeast. I think the closest we'll be able to close haul is east, which actually isn't so bad, is it? No, that's not so bad at all. So, yep, we're going to do that. We're going to turn east, and we will go east through the night. Because at that point, we are just getting closer and closer to the islands, aren't we? Right, we're now within close hauling range, a bit too close to close hauling for my liking for this boat. And actually, it looks like we're going to get away with east-southeast. So now I'm just watching to see how she turns on her own. Maybe a slight turn to south. So get her back on course. And then we'll release a bit of sheet. I don't like to do this too much when we're close hauling, but just a wee touch. And then if we've got too much wind going into our gaff still, we'll just have to reef. And if she's turning more eastward, which she might be now, we can play around with her jibs. So let's get her back on course. Nice smooth seas here, which is nice and friendly, what we're wanting. Right, we'll leave her do her thing now and see if she holds east-southeast. Quite hard to tell. I think what I'll do is I'll kill some time. Oh, we don't have any water up here anymore. We've got some in our bottle though. One piece of orange. And some more bread. And at this point we can absolutely be liberal with our usage of lanterns. So that is what I will do. Even though it's not fully night time yet, turn on our lanterns. Because I don't really want to be cutting about with lanterns in the boat that are only around 12%. Right, we have an island here. Or a bunch of islands here. So if I look at the map, the main island looks like it could be a bunch of peaks. So let me try and work out the directions. So if I look to the centre of the main islands, what I think is, that is just south of east-southeast. So if I draw a line just south of east southeast. But we'll go right far back to here. And then we've got another island which is just east of east southeast. It's just working out what island that is. We must be along this line somewhere. And surely we're a bit further along than 4. So I'm going to say we're maybe about... Now we can't be that close surely. But then if that one's just east southeast, it could be Serpent Isle we're looking at, maybe. So that's a guess. That won't be accurate, but that's just a little guess. Maybe we're looking at Serpent Isle here. It could very well be that that's Serpent Isle there. And that is in fact Newport. But then if we were east-southeast of Newport, and I drew a line east-southeast just east of it, then these lines won't cross until we're all the way back here. So my educated guess, my educated guess, if I can work this, would be we've got southeast from potentially that, and this is going east southeast, no, not Newport, sorry, Serpent's Isle, but then a touch more east. That does take us back here way before 4, so I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. But one thing's for sure, it doesn't necessarily matter because we can see land. So I was hoping to maybe figure out what we were looking at there, but maybe not. This would probably make more sense for Newport, and maybe we're looking at Dragon Cliffs and the Serpent Isle through each other. But it's now night time, we can't see anything, and I've killed enough time to see if... Yeah, we're mainly holding course there, so I will take that. And we'll just sail her like this through the night. Where's our North Star? There she is. For a bit of fun. Oh, that was some water. I thought we were capsizing. So North Star reading 132. Maybe just above 32. And it is 7:30, so we've missed the 7:30 reading. But if we were just above 32, that would put us, yep, roughly around here. So I think this is more accurate than what we were getting. So from where we were, one of the islands were just south, was it, of east-southeast. So maybe I'm looking at Crab Beach, who knows? Who knows? But to speak candidly, who really cares, right? Because we have sighted land. How are you doing? 9%? How are you doing? 23%? Not bad. Nice. Okie dokie. As I say, at some points I didn't think I was going to make this at all. It was getting stressful. It was getting scary. But we've made it. I certainly don't feel like an expert, but I can keep a little bit of pride that we have made it. Let's have a look. What a mess. But if much of this is to be believed, here is our journey. Now I think when I do this in the future, once I leave Gold Rock, I'm just going to head in this direction and then along in this direction and then down in this direction. That is what the plan is for the future. And then it looks like going southward, or sorry, back westward, it looks like we're going to get away with heading just completely west with an adjusted course until we hit -2, and then we will be sailing into the wind or upwind, but by no means as extreme as we're doing now. So the westward voyage looks a lot more kinder than the eastward voyage. So yeah, what's this island up here? Maybe we should have sailed to Happy Bay to experience a bit of happiness and then down to Dragon Cliffs, but nope, that's what we've done. So there you have it, folks. So while she's sailing eastward, I think I'll sleep off that last little bit of energy, because I want to be full of energy the closer to the islands I get. Because as I say, I want to dock up today. So I'll be with y'all after I've slept. Well, I knew something like this was going to happen. Yet again, I've woken up out of the boat. Where are my ladders? Here we go. Okay, right. Phew. Classic. What direction are we heading in? Still east. And now I can see massive bits of islands in the dark. So we must be very close now. Surely. Don't call me Shirley. Fire on our lanterns. Try and finish up some more of this bread. And then there is no getting to sleep. There's no using up energy now. This is the point where our energy elixirs might come into play. Assuming both of those are energy elixirs. Oh, we don't need that bit of bread. I'm tempted to move all the bread up the way, but I'm not going to do that whilst recording. That's a surefire way of losing all of your attention. Alright, so bit of a beam reach there. I believe the only islands I can really see are these two. Can I head in that direction? So those islands are... I'll wait until the waves settle. Those islands are southeast of me. And the wind is going... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to head directly to the islands. So we'll keep going this way until they are, well, probably more south of us. And then we will make a turn. Oh. Just cracking my back in real life there because I've been hunched over in anticipation. We will do some in-game crouches, crunches, whatever you call these. I don't exercise much in real life. There we go. Our character is better fed, better slept, and more fit than real life Sean. Another check of the North Star. That's below 32, I would say. 132. Do that again, just for argument's sake. Try and get it dead on. That's reading closer to 32. If we cross-reference the map, and we're north of the islands, 32 should be about it. Unless we're about to go smashing into a smaller island that we don't see. But as it is night time, I can't be so sure. What time are we on? It is only 2 in the morning, so it's going to be quite a while until the sun comes up. But I don't want to do a quick edit now, because you've all been with me this far. So I think you've earned the right to see the last hurdle. 19%, 4%. I wonder if second-hand lanterns are worth selling, or if I just keep all 4 and then buy a set of candles. I was watching another YouTuber who had some beautiful lanterns that were different colours. Not entirely sure where you get those, but that's very much part of my plans, but maybe not necessarily for the Dow. To say, I'm tempted to go for the sandbuck next, but I don't even know what ships you can get over here, and it's definitely worth checking for a bit of fun. That's like 2 massive peaks. So is it like these 2? Oh yeah, boy. Okay, so I'm going to need to come at... That's going to be fun. Whoa. Alright, okay, I'm glad I checked that. I'm not sure what massive peaks it is I'm looking at, but that could very well be Dragon Cliffs. I mean, the name is Cliffs, right? So I would imagine 2, at least 2 cliffs. And it looked like there was like a little strait in the middle. So is that perhaps what I'm looking at? I'm not sure. The moon is starting to rise. Should hopefully catch a bit of the sunlight and brighten up the sea a little bit for us. 3 in the morning, so I believe it's about 5 for dawn. I think we worked that out a wee while ago. But those islands are now creeping closer to southwards, so we'll be able to tack soon. And we've still got 22 days to play, really. So unless something goes horribly wrong, touch wood, we're going to make it, folks. We are going to make it. So yeah, I know it was a longer episode than usual last time, which I think some people will prefer. Maybe some people would rather they were a bit shorter and to the point, but I just want the episodes to make sense and have a sort of natural ending. A conclusion, if you will, rather than just an abrupt finish. For those that really like the long episodes, I'm going to combine all of my Eastward episodes so that it's a big long one to watch. As I say, I know I personally like to shove on big long episodes. It's something I used to do when playing Sailwind, but now of course Sailwind is, well, I spend more time recording and talking now. And in actual fact, it's been over a month since I've played this game without yapping away. So I'll maybe do a little bit of that off camera with a different save. As I say, I do need to practice my celestial navigation. I need to get a little bit better at that, I think. So, you know, I appreciate you all watching me do that. But for those of you who are really good at it, I imagine it might have been a tad frustrating, but go easy on me. We're learning. And hopefully we're just going to get better and better as time goes on, right? At this point, I wish I did have a little spyglass on me. But I did notice that she was wanting to turn slightly north of Eastward. So, can I pull the gaff in anymore? I can. So, see if that makes a difference. Turn us back eastward. And if she still wants to turn eastward, then that means it is my jibs. Surprised I'm not seeing any more islands, because I'm sure I was looking at a whole bunch. Unless I don't think I've passed anything. That looks like there might be an island out there. I very much doubt you're going to see that on YouTube, and I'm not actually totally convinced that there is something out. Oh yeah, no, there is. So there's something northeast of me. So could that be Newport? or Serpent's. No, because I think Dragon Cliffs must be the big one down there. And that's getting very close to south, so we'll be tacking soon. So, right. We think that is the Strait of Dragon Cliffs, and that is... What? The Strait is... Let's try and get a better angle, actually. Nope, we're just going to have to use the Strait. So the Strait is between south and south-southeast. So grab our pencil. Draw a line between south and south-southeast. And I've only really been going east. So does that mean, is that Newport I'm looking at? So are we here? Are we like very close to Newport? I can't tell. There's like 4 peaks of Newport. It does kind of look like a dragon, or a serpent actually. So is that the Serpent Isle? I really don't know. Who knows really? But surely that's Dragon Cliffs. Surely. Seems to be like a tail there, a back and a head. There's nothing else around apart from this thing out to our east. And that's the biggest one. So if it's like Alank, the Alank Archipelago, then the biggest one is the main one, right? We have lost this lantern. Pop that there and replace that with a full one. And I think we're ready to tack. What is hopefully one of our final tacks down towards what we think is Dragon Cliffs. Oh, how very exciting. And nerve-wracking as well, of course. Right, let's let her pick up a bit of speed heading southwards. Yeah, that looks like a decent angle of attack. It does look like the Strait might be hard to get into, considering the wind is blowing in this direction. We've actually tacked to the point where we could probably open up our sails, but I'm just going to keep her going like that for now. Or do I want... Nah, let's get some speed. We're close enough that it doesn't... I don't need to worry too much. I can just enjoy it a bit more now. Yeah, let's get both jibs opened up. And we'll just hold course with our helm. Yep, that's good enough for me. And we'll just face her towards the islands. And see if she turns away. And I'll just keep correcting. And if we do get tired, then that's okay. I have energy elixir. Presumably. I'll add that just in case I shoot myself in the foot again. Now I know it says we need orange, but I'm having bread. Because there should be a tavern there I can sleep in to reset everything. But yep, I'm so glad to have been taught the bread tactic. Probably one of the most important things. If we finish this bottle, we are now at the point where we can put our decent bottle away and start firing into the smaller ones. So decent bottle, you can sit in with the oranges. And we have our little bottles of 5 now. Drifting slightly southwards, but that's okay. Did this lantern die? No, we turned that off. Okie dokie, so I don't know how much energy an energy elixir fills for us, but we do have 2, so I could always use 1 when it gets a little bit lower. I'd say maybe about 1/3 of the way, between 1/3 and halfway, and we'll use that to get us in. It is only 7 in the morning, so hopefully we just get daylight for the rest of the way now. the strait is still between south and southeast. I am not seeing any other land around still, apart from this one, which is now east-northeast. So if it was Newport and we go east-southeast, did I say east-southeast? Is it east-southeast? Sorry, we have to go back southwest, my apologies, because it's east-northeast. So west-southwest, rather. I don't think it was Newport we were looking at. It could be that that's Crab Beach we're looking at, because if we go west-southwest from there, that seems to match up with what we're seeing. So would Sanctuary maybe, but it doesn't look like there would be enough peaks there. It could be that we're seeing all three of them. But that's, yeah, I think that might be Crab Beach we're looking at, which is going to be handy to note. So I better work that one out. I will buy a map when I get there, so we can do our pilotage with a bit more accuracy. I can't see Newport to the north, but it looks to me like, yeah, Newport's quite a far distance away. If you compare it to Gold Rock, it would be like expecting to see Alank Academy, or maybe just a bit further than Alank Academy, which if there's no massive peaks you're not going to see. So it looks to me like the archipelago here is much more spread around. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Hopefully that doesn't catch us out. And we'll just keep going and going. Surely there is no arguing that this is Dragon Cliffs now, although that now looks like less of a strait I'm looking at, and perhaps a huge island that's further away in the distance. So what's behind Dragon Cliffs? Is that Sage Hills I'm looking at over there? And is that perhaps the strait there? Well, the only other option is if we miss it, we'll have to go round and come in this way, which might be better off wind-wise, because we've pretty much missed our opportunity to go in that direction to discover if that's the strait or not. So what do we do? Because that's way too large to be the strait now. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this, so that doesn't put me off. But we know that we're about here, so even though this is going to cut through an island, I'm going to assume we're about here, or maybe just a bit further down, and now we need to think about either going east or round the island. And I think I'll maybe close haul directly towards the island and then try and tack up in this direction and then tack back down. That's what we're going to do. So to prepare for that, we're going to pull in our gaff as much as humanly possible, and we're going to angle her at more of a close haul. Much like that, in a southeasterly direction. If my timekeeping is correct, this episode might be beyond an hour now. But as I say, I do not care. This is all about getting there. I've been desperate to name an episode Land Ho. I mean, I've lost count. I think I know we're beyond 4 hours by the end of the last episode. So we'll certainly be beyond 5 for the total, maybe closer to 6. So there's been at least 6 hours of sailing where I've been desperate to name an episode Land Ho. And you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be this one. Apologies if you heard me taking a little swig of juice there. I don't need crates of, well, barrels of water in real life. Speaking of, all looking good. I think I might risk, yeah, I think I'll risk an energy elixir now. Just so I don't have to think about it. Yeah, that feels good. That feels great. So that is something we do not have to think about now. Of course, we're going off course because there's a lot of wind hitting the jibs. But that's alright, because I don't need to worry about sleep. I have enough time to just stand here behind the helm and use my muscly arms. The same arms that were able to yeet that barrel into the sky earlier. I hope this is Dragon Cliffs. What if I'm at like Happy Bay or something? Well folks, we're going to end up somewhere, I can tell you that much. We'll just get close to this big old rock and we'll tack around. 10 in the morning, so we're not even hitting noon yet. But if we're in the completely wrong archipelago, then yeah, my my navigation definitely needs a bit of work. Right, how close are we? Yeah, that's pretty close. Big tack. And let's skirt around the island. Locking that for now. That'll just do our thing. Bit more of a close haul now. Oh, whoops. Turning in with the jibs. So I think I'll take up our larger jib, and we need to release the inner jib a bit because that's creating an air brake. There we go. Okay, pensive moments here. If this is indeed Dragon Cliffs, we should see an opening soon. What does Happy Bay look like? Where is it? Nah, that's surely not where we are. I believe we are looking at Dragon Cliffs, and then there's a great old island that we can see behind it, which we can't see anymore. For those of you who have been to Dragon Cliffs before, if this is not Dragon Cliffs, I am sorry. But I don't know that for sure yet. But either way, we will berth up and we will buy a map and we will work out what on earth is going on. See, I always do this. It's me completely losing confidence again. We are going to do this. We are absolutely going to do this. Could be an opening there. I really hope it is. And what's that? Unless that is Dragon Cliffs up to our northeast, and I am actually at Sage Hills. I'm starting to think that might be what's going on. Maybe I was looking at Dragon Cliffs the whole time, and I've made it to Sage Hills. Right, let's do some pilotage if that is. So if that was Dragon Cliffs, that would be northeast, and then the centre of Sage Hills is south. So if that was Dragon Cliffs, that would be northeast, and then the centre would be south. Guys, I'm starting to think that's Sage Hills we're at. Yep, it's I'm not totally convinced that this is Dragon Cliffs I'm looking at. Oh, decisions. Well, I suppose once we get there, if it's the wrong place, we'll get a little notification to say you're in the wrong place. We've still got 22 days. 22 days to get there. So it might be land ho, but it might be the wrong land ho. We'll find out. But we will now creep in a little bit closer. It does look like there's another island out behind. And Sage Hills, I think, only has 2 islands. From what I could see on the map. So I think perhaps we're still okay. Okay, I was wondering why the jibs weren't turning me round, but that's of course because I've taken one of them in. That makes sense. So we will tighten our main jib. Or our inner jib. Am I... Yep, I think I was pulling the wrong winch there. And you come. Right, there we go. There seems to be a little rock at the opening. But see, this looks massive to me. I've got absolutely no idea where we are. None whatsoever. Can I see over? Unless that's Dragon Cliffs are way off in the distance. Which it very much could be. Alright, okay. So I guess we just need to hope that there's a town here. And if not, then we keep going. I think I can say with like a lot of certainty now that that is not Dragon Cliffs. So again, for those of you watching who know what you're doing, I apologise for... Thing is, when you watch a YouTube series, particularly if they're doing something that you're good at for the first time, it's probably hard not to scream at the screen and say, where on earth are you going? That's not the right place. Is there a town round there? Please be a town. If these are islands... It does look like we're going to come dead in the water. If these are islands that happen to be west of Dragon Cliffs, then it could be that we're... Well, there's nothing really west, is there? Well, so Dragon Cliffs is southeast, so it could be that we're at the Serpent... Yep, I think we're at the Serpent Isle. Yeah, I think we're here. So we can delete that. And we are here. Which I can say with a short degree of certainty. I really run the risk of going dead in the water here, but I just wanted to add a little bit to our map. But good thing is there was a little bit of red on the, what was it called? The Serpent Isle, which tells me there's a town. And that the thing northeast of Serpent Isle is Newport. So we're looking at Newport, and Dragon Cliffs is southeast and Newport is northeast. Okay, well at least it'll be easy to navigate to the two of them. We'll just need to decide which one we want to go to first, and I think it makes more sense to go to Dragon Cliffs first. I might be tacking too early here. We can probably get away with this with just our jibs. But there we see we have a dock. Are we still turning though? Yeah, I'm taking the gaff in. Come on. Right. I'm feeling particularly impatient. So we're going to give her a shove. Encourage her with our strongly muscles. Well, that didn't do anything, did it? Oh my god, this is not the time. Okay, we loosened up. We just need to get her turning in literally any direction so I can catch the wind. Right, so we're still reversing. So we'll wait until she catches the wind. Then we'll go forward. Oh, jeezy peeps. Right, she's centred a bit, so back up with the gaff. And let's catch some agogo. And it might even be such that we want to now just go round here and in. Or do we just book it straight down to Dragon Cliffs? I do kind of want a mission complete, but also I would like to visit a new place. Yeah, you know what? We're going to go to the Serpent Isle. We've got plenty of time. And it means the next episode can be a nice short one for those of you who prefer that. Right, so the wind is heading east, sorry, southeast. I was going to say east-south because I'm going crazy. So, big massive tack now. We've got enough speed to do it, I think. Hopefully we've got enough speed to do it and not crash into this big boulder. Come on. And I've only just now realised that it's been so long since I've docked now that I will have almost certainly have lost any little skill I still had in that. Hopefully we can get a tavern at this town as well. We'll just soak it in and appreciate it. So yeah, this is going to be the end of the Eastward chapter of my Let's Play. So we've done the Emerald Archipelago, which is basically our, our humble beginnings. We have made it eastward to the next archipelago. So I guess chapter 3 is going to be the Emerald chapter. I'll maybe come up with a catchier name, but for now that'll do. But let's get ourselves docked first. Suppose it probably would be better to dock. It doesn't matter, let's just dock. I don't want to think about the future, I'm just thinking about land. And bear in mind folks, I'm seeing all this for the first time, so I'm just taking it in. It's not the biggest of towns, but it is bigger than Albacore town, I'll give you that. Hopefully we've got no peeping toms staring in windows, but I'd be keen to see what they're selling here. Oh, different colour lanterns here, so is it here I get lanterns? Oh, the dock is pretty. It's a nice place to arrive once they've just turned on the lights. I'm going to haul up the gaff now, or bring down the gaff. I'm beyond the point of caring about the correct terms. And it's a nice long dock, which should account for me being an idiot. So I'll just keep going, straighten her up a bit now. Looks like we're going to crash, so straighten her up a bit more. Still might get a slight crash, so straighten up more. And at this point, if we crash, we crash. Oh my god, folks. Oh, and they've got nice cleats as well, instead of the bollards that you get in Alank. But folks, we have made it. Well, this is clearly going to be the screenshot for this episode. Wow. We made it. One last time, I'm going to run away from the microphone and have a little celebration. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks, but needs must. We made it. I may have just woken up and scared my cat there. But we're not going to look around today. We're going to save that for the next episode. So, we did it, folks. Thank you so much for sticking with me. At some points I didn't think it was going to happen, but clearly it did. So, yep, I'm at a complete loss for words. But, yeah, this has been episode something, 15 I think. I'm not sure. It's been a lot of episodes, and we've made it. I've been Shipwreck Sean, and thank you. See you next time.